Today, we are digging into something huge, the modern motivation crisis. And we're going right to the source, a little brain chemical at the heart of it all, dopamine. We're going to explore why you might be feeling so drained and, more importantly, how you can start to recalibrate that drive.
So let me ask you this. Do you ever just wake up and you're already tired? Like the day hasn't even started, but you feel like you've got no energy, no motivation. Even stuff you used to get excited about just feels kind of meh? If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not the only one.
And here's the most important thing I want you to hear right up front. That feeling, it is not a personal failing. It's not you being lazy or undisciplined. It's all about what's going on right inside your head. It's your brain chemistry.
Okay, so let's talk about that lazy feeling. What does it actually look like day to day? You might be seeing the signs right now and not even realizing they're all connected, all pointing back to the same thing.
Do any of these hit a little too close to home? Feeling mentally exhausted even when you swear you got enough sleep? Finding it almost impossible to just sit down and finish one single task? Or maybe you notice you're always reaching for sugar, another cup of coffee, or just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for that little hit of something. These are all classic signals that your dopamine system might be a little out of whack.
So if we're going to fix the problem, we've got to understand how the system is supposed to work in the first place. So what is dopamine really? And what is its actual job in your brain?
To put it really simply, dopamine is the motivation molecule. It is your brain's own internal engine. It's that little chemical voice that says, "Ooh, that looks good over there, go get it." It's what fuels your ambition to chase after goals, whether that goal is finishing a huge project at work or just getting off the couch to find a snack.
Now this is where things get really interesting, because we need to bust a huge myth. Most of us think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, right? The feeling of liking the reward once you get it. But a ton of research shows that it's actually the wanting chemical. It's the pursuit, the drive, the motivation to go get the reward. That's its real job.
So the really crucial thing to get is that dopamine isn't just about feeling good when you're done. It's what gives you the actual energy and focus to put in the work, to stick with a hard task, and to push through when things get tough on the way to your goal.
And get this, there's another layer to it. It's not just about how much dopamine you get. The real kicker is how fast you get it. A quick, sharp spike is what makes something feel incredibly powerful, compelling, and yeah, even addictive. The speed of the hit is what matters. Which brings us right to the heart of our modern problem, the dopamine crash. You see, our brains evolved over thousands of years for one kind of world, but we are living in a completely different one.
Our dopamine system is designed for this beautiful, natural loop. You know, you set a goal that matters. You put in the effort. You finally achieve it. And then, boom, your brain rewards you with a satisfying hit of dopamine that basically says, "Nice work. That was totally worth it. Let's do that again."
But our modern world is just jam-packed with hacks that completely break this system. The little pings from your phone, the infinite scroll on social media, all those sugary snacks and drinks, they give you that quick dopamine spike with basically zero effort. They totally hijack that natural reward path.
So what happens when your brain is just constantly flooded with these easy, super fast spikes? Well, it does what any system would do when it's overloaded. It tries to protect itself. It's a process called downregulation. Your brain literally starts removing its own dopamine receptors to become less sensitive. And the result? You need more and more stimulation just to feel normal. And those big long-term goals that require actual effort, they start to feel impossible.
And it's not just about our phones. Chronic stress pumps our bodies full of cortisol, which is a total dopamine killer. Not getting enough good sleep? That means your brain's receptors never get a chance to reset. A diet full of processed junk denies your brain the very building blocks it needs to even make dopamine. And just not moving your body enough weakens the whole system.
Okay, I know, that all sounds pretty bleak. But here's the really good news. This is not a permanent state. You can absolutely rebuild this system. You can get your motivation back. This right here is the key. Your brain is not set in stone. It can change. And if you give it the right tools, you can bring back its natural balance and sensitivity. So how do we actually do it? Well, let's walk through these 5 steps. Number 1, get real rest. Prioritizing deep sleep is non-negotiable for letting those receptors reset. 2, eat for your brain. Give it the building blocks it needs, foods rich in something called tyrosine, like eggs, almonds, fish. 3, move your body every single day. Even a 20-minute walk can work wonders.
4, you got to start limiting those cheap artificial highs. Put the phone down, skip the sugary snack. And finally, number 5, start practicing delayed gratification. Train your brain to find the reward in the process again, and working towards something that actually matters.
And that whole thing, that's what we call dopamine recalibration. And listen, it's not about punishing yourself or living a life with no pleasure. It's about teaching your brain to value effort again, to find real, lasting satisfaction from the journey itself, not just from some instant empty hit.
So, let's bring it all home with what might be the most powerful idea in this whole explainer. This is about brain chemistry. It is not about willpower.
But first, a really important note. While all these lifestyle changes are incredibly powerful, if you've been feeling this way, just chronically unmotivated and flat for weeks on end, it is so important to talk to a doctor or a mental health professional just to make sure there's nothing else going on. So please, the next time you feel that lack of drive, that lazy feeling, try to remember this. It's not a moral feeling. You're not weak. It's a signal. It's just your brain telling you that it needs a little help finding its balance again. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. In a world that is literally designed to give us endless, instant highs, what are the long-term goals that are truly, genuinely worth your drive? It's something to think about.